220, 290 yards for Mason Rudolph, 195 of that to George Pickens.
You said it. You said Mike Tomlin's going to have this team ready to go. Defense, 3 interceptions, and undermanned.
Yeah, Tomlin let Rudolph play in the reindeer game.
Yeah.
And it paid off. How impressive was that performance? Hasn't played in a long time. He was the difference. Fun throwing to Pickens.
Right.
Too.
Rudolph doesn't lose on Christmas Eve. I mean, what were we thinking, right? But no, I think the other thing off of that, Steelers did a lot of good things. But Jake Browning, his play, the quarterback of the Bengals, right? He'd been taking care of the ball. He'd been playing efficient football. Some of those early interceptions certainly led to 14 points for the Pittsburgh Steelers and just too much of a lead that they couldn't come back from.
Jake Browning had 3 interceptions in the 4 starts previously, 3 in the game here today. Much more reaction from this game in Pittsburgh coming up. But we're getting set for part 2 of our doubleheader. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. This game at SoFi exclusively on Peacock. You can scan the QR code or go to peacocktv.com/NFL to sign up right now. $5.99, best deal in streaming. I'm biased.
Oh, yeah, I'm all for it.
Don't you want to see Josh Allen?
Give me $6, McCourty.
Welcome to Football Night in America, presented by Chevrolet.
Complete domination from the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're used to seeing that guy celebrate. We're not used to that. Jake Browning had won 3 starts in a row. Goes home a loser after this one. All celebrations for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this is what it does to the playoff picture in the AFC. Cincinnati drops from number 6 to number 10. They're out of the playoffs right now. The Colts and the Houston Texans, they're the 6 and 7 seeds as we sit here. Buffalo controls its path now, can clinch by winning out. So let's go over to Steve Kornacki. So, Steve, what did this result in Pittsburgh do for the Bengals and Steelers moving forward?
Yeah, it's a nice little boost for the Steelers, but this is devastating for the Bengals. Just put this in some perspective. A month ago when the Bengals lost to the Steelers, fell to 5 and 6, at that point their playoff chances were just 10%, but they won 3 straight after that. The Jags, the Colts, the Vikings, they got up to 38% coming in today. Had they won this game against the Steelers, they would have been at 61% to make the playoffs. Instead, with the blowout loss, they're all the way back down to 14, basically back to where they started before that winning streak. So now for the Bengals and the Steelers, the chances of making the playoffs, they're not 0, but they're not good. Each team has to win out against what is a very tough schedule in both cases. You can see it here, and each team is going to need a boatload of help from other teams losing. So for the Steelers, it takes them from 7 to 13, but the Bengals with the big loss here, and you just said it. The big winners, the team we're about to watch, the Buffalo Bills, because now the Bills don't need any help. Win 3, they're in the playoffs, no questions asked.
And the way they're playing, it looks like that might be easy for them. We'll talk about them more in a second here. I think this is a result for the Pittsburgh Steelers not a whole lot of people saw coming. Some people saw it coming.
Yeah, I mean, you're wise.
Take it.
In case you forgot.
Beginner's luck.
But the story's coming in. Mason Rudolph getting the start by Mike Tomlin, wanted to shake things up, and George Pickens, a lack of effort last week. They both stepped up in this one.
Big time step up. I mean, the last 3 weeks we kept going, well, the Steelers are turning around, and it was like, wow, it's just bad football across the board. But right from the get-go, second play of the game, this guy was man-to-man a lot today. And he's the most dangerous guy on the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Slant route down the middle, bad angle by the safety like we talked about at halftime. And we continued to see this throughout the first half of the game.
And what I love about it, they gave him opportunities. This right here, right before the half, throwing it up. If he's one-on-one, we're going to give him a chance. But Mike Tomlin talked about in the offseason, you have great, talented players. It's his job as a coach to bring the best out of them, find a way to coach them, and that's what you saw this week with George Pickens. A lot of us wrote him off, but the Steelers continue to count on him in big moments.
Why give him that many opportunities one-on-one is what I want to say to the Cincinnati coaches. At some point, you feel like you got a double, but a great day by Mason Rudolph. Yep, George Pickens telling you he didn't hear the noise, and that offense certainly looked good tonight.
He was outstanding, and I agree with you, Simsy. When he's isolated, you go to him. You make the decision-making process easy. Rudolph's a veteran guy. He saw the picture. He kept going to him, and George, time and time again, made the plays.
Ran for over 100 yards. There are some people that are thinking, where was the Steelers offense up until now?
Yeah, well, I think the Bengals defense, we talked about it, right, has been a lot of big plays all year long. They've led a lot of explosive run plays, a lot of explosive pass plays. But today, the disappointing thing, I think, more than anything, was the offensive side of the Bengals.
Yeah.
Jake Browning had been, as we talked about, efficient, looked like almost like a A- version of Joe Burrow. And I know we were all disappointed in his showing.
Yeah, he's been such a good decision maker over the last 3 weeks. He was efficient and explosive. But right from the start, Pittsburgh got him disoriented. This is the red zone throw. He just throws the ball up to nobody. There's not a Bengal receiver in sight. Uncharacteristic. Pittsburgh played more zone in this game. They've been playing a lot of man-to-man coverage and struggling doing it. More pressure and zone behind it. Browning had a hard time. Again, poor decisions, and the turnovers were huge.
And that's what it's about. I think we always talk about how does a guy prepare? What does he do? Jake Browning probably watches a lot of film, and he's studying this Steelers defense. They're playing man. I'm going to have this opportunity, that opportunity.
I'm going to be aggressive today.
And then they come out, and it's like, whoa,
yeah.
This isn't what I watched all week on film.
Right.
Now what? And I think that's harder when you haven't had as much experience of going out there in game-type situations, and he struggled today. And credit to Steelers defense. They never let him get comfortable.
Yeah, you're right. Never got comfortable, played zone defense. And then the two guys we saw off the edge for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I mean, Orlando Brown and Jonah Williams got absolutely dominated by T.J. Watt and Highsmith throughout the day. You couple that with some good zone coverage, that's Pittsburgh football, right,
Not a good feeling as a quarterback, huh?
It felt like Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
those
it
guys
felt
on
like
the
Pittsburgh.
edge coming, uncomfortable quarterback,
Right.
vision defense, all those guys looking at him, reacting to the ball, making plays. It felt like the old Pittsburgh Steelers defense that we're used to.
I mean, if they can get in the playoffs and look like this, might not play the Cincinnati Bengals, but that is a dangerous kind of Pittsburgh Steelers team.
Well, that's what we're always scared of Pittsburgh. It's the physicality. We're going to out-hit you. We're going to make the game ugly, and at some point you'll make a mistake, and we'll capitalize on it. And that's why for the last 3 weeks we kept expecting to turn around, and you, the Oracle, called it today.
I just wanted to make sure people remember that from the pregame show. That was a long time
We'll have to
ago.
see. Kornacki said it's a low chance, so we'll see.
It could be beginner's luck there. Time for Barry's Bet, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Matthew, you nailed the first game. What do you got for tonight?
Yeah, thank you, Tyler Boyd, in the first game here. And for this one, it's James Cook. Now, when I took this bet earlier tonight, it was James Cook over 13.5 rushing attempts, minus 120. Since that time, it's moved up to 14.5. And as you see there, the juice has gotten a little bit worse. But I still think this is a bet that James Cook hits. When Joe Brady took over as the offensive coordinator of the Bills, he made this team a running team, the second highest rush rate in the NFL since Brady took over. And in 3 of the 4 games that Brady is calling the plays, James Cook has had at least 16 rushing attempts. So give me the over on James Cook, 14.5 rushing attempts tonight against the Chargers, I should say. All right, hey, don't forget, on DraftKings Sportsbook this season, new customers can bet $5 and pocket $150 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every single day. All you got to do, download the app, use promo code SNF when you sign up. It's DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Amit?
All right, thank you, Matthew. Chargers got some injuries. They're looking for anyone to suit up.
Uh-oh, they need him?
Put that guy in.
LT.
I don't think he wants to go back out there and play right now.
No, he doesn't. Not on that group. He's like, wait, they're not expecting the pass. Austin Eckler's got to deal with it, though, tonight.
Hand it to this guy. Throw it to him.
He talked about he's looking for a big game tonight. Free agency's around the corner now.
Oh, yeah,
Quarterback's
he needs
best
to get
friend
paid.
right there.
Counting down to this game exclusively on Peacock. Download it right now. We're less than a half hour away, 20 minutes away.
What grade would you give Josh Allen for his play this season?
C+.
C+?
We're sitting here at 8-6. We talk again in February. I might have a different grade.
You have an essay on the 2023 Buffalo Bills. Title and thesis.
Title would be they had us in the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they had us the first half. I'm not going to lie.
And the thesis would be backs against the wall. Everybody's counting us out. Somehow we prevail.
Sounds like it's incomplete.
It is.
So Josh Allen, he's been grading himself a lot lately because last week he said he felt like the kid that did nothing on the class project and still got an A. That was the 21-point win over Dallas, completed just 7 passes in that game as we go on the field. Rod, all that work was being done by James Cook.
Yeah, I love the commitment to running the football. I think it makes them instant contenders. And whenever you watch tape, he looks like Marshall Faulk. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's not a really big guy, but he can run in between the tackles. He's been outstanding. He's galvanized this entire team.
to me is the difference in this team right now. The play calling to give James Cook a chance to do what he can do, Rodney.
Absolutely. He's been fantastic.
And then on that Chargers defense, they have not had a great year, but this man has. Khalil Mack is still playing at a high level. He's getting after the passer. He's chasing down runs. They're going to need a big effort up front, and it starts with him.
And one of my favorite players is safety Jordan Poyer. And with all the injuries to the secondary, he's done such a great job of keeping everything together. He's done a great job of communicating, making sure that there's no blown coverages. He's been really good this year for him.
In that Buffalo defense that he is a leader of, a top 5 scoring defense right now as you look around the NFL. Yeah. What makes that group work?
Well, it's been amazing with the injuries they've had. Micah Hyde is not playing tonight. They just don't have their whole secondary in place, so they've been trying to protect those guys by playing their safeties deep, only utilizing that 4-man front to get pressure, and that front 4, Rodney, has been great doing that. 7 guys deep playing the pass, 4 guys defending the run. Here, Greg Rousseau makes a play in the backfield to set up a long yard.
Absolutely, Coach. You have the advantage when you have to only rush 4, you can drop 7. Now you can keep your vision on the quarterback. You can get depth, and you can play, and you can just naturally react. And don't worry about a lot of one-on-one opportunities.
Yeah, they don't give the quarterbacks easy reads. They have to hold the ball, and then that front group with their energy takes into effect.
It'll help that defense as well. They don't have to go up against Justin Herbert or Keenan Allen, who are both out tonight for the Chargers. Who sent it back in to Ahmed.
Yeah, a little bit of an easier assignment for a Buffalo defense with those injuries, but I don't know that they need the easy assignments right now.
Yeah, we saw. I love it because it's the pass rush and the coverage, and I know they lost some guys. Trey White goes down. But how about Rasul Douglas? They bring him over from Green Bay, and all of a sudden you're looking and you're like, oh, the secondary's playing pretty good. They're doing this, they're doing that. And he's taking on the challenge of some of these better receivers coming to town, and he's saying, you know what, I got them. I'm going to go shut them down. So big credit to Rasul Douglas.
It was a physical game for them last week against the Dallas Cowboys, not just on the defensive side, but they look to bully the Cowboys on offense.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Devin's talking about it. The D-line, they're bullying people, and there's a new attitude on the offensive side of the ball that we like from Buffalo. That's the big thing. They're running the football. They're coming off the line of scrimmage, and they're taking the pressure off of Josh Allen, which Jason and Garrett and I have yelled about all year long. Stop making it a one-man show. Holding linemen last week, smash mouth football, the threat of Josh Allen keeping the ball around the edge. It is a great weapon they have as well to help the run game out. And then with this run game, it makes the defense creep up, and they get a lot of looks in the pass game, Jason.
They sure do. Simsy, they ran it 49 times for 266 yards last week. When that happens, you get 10 guys around the line of scrimmage and a lot of green grass behind it. They go play action.
Yeah.
That's their best player. Diggs running across the field. There's nobody around them. So it starts with the running game. If they can maintain this balance, they're going to be hard to stop.
And I know what it was probably like for the Cowboys on the sideline. That defense is getting off, and they're coming over there like, we got to stop the run. So that's all anybody here. So now those linebackers, instead of being at 4.5, 5 yards, creep up a little bit. You're moving up every fake. You're going for it, and now it puts more pressure on the secondary. So for this Chargers defense tonight, you've already dealt with a lot of things.
That's right.
You're going to come in and say, we can't let James Cook beat us, and now Josh Allen's going to see something he very rarely sees. Single coverage with a lot of space.
Look, pass looks, right? We just go, I can't believe they're playing this pass defense against me. And that's where it's going to change, I think, their offense. And that's where I think we give Joe Brady a lot of credit, too. Not only the toughness, the physicality. He's brought in Josh Allen from turning the ball over a little bit. And then James Cook in the pass game. It's hard not to look at the offense right now and go, Joe Brady from Sean Payton, what he's done with James Cook has been really impressive.
Yeah, hand it to him and now throw it to him. Just make Josh Allen's job that much easier. That's what running backs do. This is a little burst route. It's a check down. You get them out into space. These guys are hard to tackle. They call them running backs. So get them out in space.
Let them run?
Yeah, let them run. They're hard to tackle. And then this is a corner route from out of the backfield, running up on a linebacker. They have no chance. Josh Allen buys time, so you can hand it to him. You can throw it to him. The burden, the city of Buffalo, comes off of Josh Allen's shoulders, and he's going to play a lot better.
No linebacker likes covering running backs on deep routes.
20-yard routes.
Dante Hightower used to look at me and say, if he goes past 20 yards, you better be there. I'll be there, Hightower. Don't beat me up.
It is crazy. You mentioned Joe Brady. Right. Before Joe Brady, they were 28th in targeting the running back. After Joe Brady, they're 6th in the NFL. He has become, James Cook, a real weapon for him. Perhaps they can win again tonight. Steve, how big would a win tonight be for the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, look, the Bills have been doing a lot of things to help themselves in the playoff chase lately. They've also been getting a lot of help. Most recently, a few minutes ago when you saw the Bengals go down, the Bengals had been in the playoff bracket. Now they're out. You see, Buffalo is sitting here just in that first spot outside the wild card here. But the key, Indianapolis and Houston are going to play each other. One of those teams will lose. It means the Bills, with 3 wins, if they win out, they will pass at least one of those teams. They control their own path to the playoffs. But hey, Bills fans, let's get greedy here. Let's not just talk playoffs. Let's talk AFC East title and a home game that would come with that. What would that take? Well, it's a long shot, but it's not that implausible here. Look, the Dolphins are 10-4. The Bills are 8-6. Look at the next 2 games for the Bills. They got the Chargers tonight. Certainly, you'd expect them to do well. We'll see what happens. Then they get the Patriots next week. If the Bills can win those 2 games, they'll be sitting at 10-6. Meanwhile, the Dolphins, look at this. The Cowboys, the Ravens, let's say they split those 2 games. They go 1-1. They'll be 11-5. And then look what happens. In the last week, it's the Bills paying a visit to the Dolphins. The Bills already beat the Dolphins once this year. If the Bills could then do it again, they would tie in the standings. They'd have the tiebreaker, and the Bills would win the AFC East and get the playoff berth, the home game that goes with that. So for the Bills, take care of business these next 2 weeks and hope that either the Ravens or the Cowboys can knock off the Dolphins.
Steve, I think that Bills and Dolphins game would look good on NBC. I don't know. It might look pretty good on this network. So what do we think? Who do you like more right now? Do you like the Dolphins or the way that the Bills are playing?
I love the Bills. I think the Bills can win out. The Dolphins have a hard stretch here, but they're still 2 games ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm going all in on the Dolphins. They haven't beaten a winning team yet, but I think that starts tomorrow.
They get it done?
Yeah, Ravens is going to be a challenge. And that Week 18 game against Buffalo, one for the ages. I take Miami.
I'm jumping off the edge. I'm going Buffalo.
Oh, baby.
I started the season off with Sims saying I thought Buffalo would dip, but it just reminds me of one of those teams that got it going, and now you look, and it's like everything starts to move
right
in
at the
favor.
right time, right?
Pittsburgh comes in and beats Cincinnati. All of these things start happening. So I think Miami, because of that schedule, will slip up and lose one of those games, and then the last game of the season, Buffalo will have a chance to write their own destiny and win the division.
Buffalo's tough. I'm going to state off the bat here that either one of these teams in the playoffs is going to be a handful, whoever they got to play. I'm more along with Jason Garrett here. I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. I know the schedule is harder, but the offense, it's revolutionizing football right now. The weapons they have, right? I do think they start their winning tough football games tomorrow. And then Vic Fangio, what he's done with that defense, it's really coming along. It's one of the better units in the game. I'm going to go with the Dolphins there.
Hey, Buffalo's getting in.
Yeah.
They're getting in the playoffs.
They're getting in.
Yeah. Miami's going to win the division.
Right.
I just think that Week 18 game in Miami is tough for Buffalo.
I'm with you.
Dolphins defense statistically, up there. One of the best
top
in football
5 in
right
football.
now. 100%. Two people don't talk about that enough. All right, we're all picking the Bills in this one. We don't want to put the graphic because the Chargers' social media department's quite good.
They will kill us,
They will kill if it goes. But make the case for the Chargers to win this one tonight.
I think it comes down to they need to get off to an early start. They need to go down, score either a field goal or a touchdown in the first 2 possessions, and defensively 3 and outs or a turnover to get going.
Yeah, it's all about the turnover ratio. If they can go +3, +4 in the turnover ratio, they have a chance. If not, Buffalo wins.
I think it's the same way I look at it. They got to hope to strip sack, get a Khalil Mack strip sack fumble on Josh Allen. He throws a dumb interception like that. That's the only way I see the Chargers winning the game.
All right, Jack, what do you guys think?
All right, Alvin, I got a clean sweep out here as well for the Bills. So give me this scenario, same question. If the Chargers are going to pull one off, what's it look like?
I had a chance to talk to Derwin James, and he looked at me and he says, I'm bringing it tonight. And I got a chance to talk to Coach McDermott, and I asked him, said, Coach, what do you do to avoid the upset? He says, you have to expect their best effort. Anyone can beat you.
Well, I think, as we said in the first game, sacks and interceptions. That's the only way I see Buffalo losing. Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator, has called such a game that he's not allowing that to happen. He's not going to throw 50 passes tonight. Khalil Mack and that defensive line have to make something happen in order for Buffalo to win.
But also, this is your job. This is your brothers. You got to play for your brother next to you. You got to play for your family, your reputation. This is how you get paid. And, Coach, the teams are still evaluating, so I expect them to come out and play hard, Jack.
First look, without Coach Staley, we'll see what kind of fight they have, and I'll tell you this.
That's a good thing.
A lot of Bills fans in attendance as well. Over to you, my friend.
The first ever Peacock exclusive NFL game. Plenty of AFC implications on the line. We got Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark. Have the call. Get over to Peacock.
They got Josh Allen on TV. He's worth $5.99 any day of the week.
A cup of coffee.
Right? Bill Mafia in LA is getting crazy out there.
This has been Football Night in America, presented by Chevrolet.